Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to use pie chart so it can accept some input from the user. For example, by ticking different box to change the pie chart to increase or decrease based on the number of the tick. And the mechanism behind this is that there are two parts. First, we have front end, which is presenting the data. And also you have form-like things to accept the input from the user. And also you have a backbone to support different proportion of the finished part and unfinished part. So let's get started. First part, we need to draw this table. Let's just copy this table, going to the backend practice and right click case value. The unfinished part going to be just minus this B3. So equal to 1 minus B3. And then we can do a Control-1 to number formatting that into a percentage and remove the data. Now we have 100%. And let's just say if for now we just insert a table, how it looks like. For example, we can insert here, we're going to pie chart. The pie chart, we're looking for a donut. Just cut this one and going to this part, we just paste that. Once we paste, we adjust the size of that to make sure it's aligned to whatever we have in the real one. Okay. That's what we have done. Since it's 100%, there's nothing is finished, so that part will occupy the whole thing. We will do the formatting thing later on once we figure out the driver about those kind of cube changes. So backend, we have done this part. There's a formula wait for us to finish to how to count the finished part, which is by counting the box has been ticked in these two areas. So we need to go into front end, we copy this cell, go into that, we paste. Okay, so this will be the day 1, day 2, and then I select these 2 cells and drag it down to day. In that way, I need to drag this 2 over here. Okay, I also kind of format that by adding borders, and then we're gonna insert the tick box. Before you insert the tick box, you need to make sure you go into the customer over this section, the developer line has been ticked. Since I've ticked, I have this develop pen over the top. So we go into developer, insert, and a checkbox. Once you get that, you can just drag it. Here, just make sure your tick box is smaller than the cell. I can make this shorter, but you can see there's some text. So you right click on that text. Now you can see there's a flashing cursor inside the box. So I just delayed everything inside that. And then you click somewhere else. So it will be like this way. So it's not aligned in the middle of the H column. So we hold your control, reselect the object. And now you can use your arrow key to actually precisely move the box, the object around anywhere you want. And once you finish that, okay, now you have done this. Now let's just make this a little bit smaller so you can have a look of this border. Okay, looks like it's not aligned to center. We use the left arrow key to move it around again. Once we've done, select somewhere else and then reselect the column, the cell H2, and then we can drag this down to here. Okay. Once we've done this part, even smaller, drag this over here. Now you can checkbox that is ready, but when we tick, nothing has happened to this pie chart. It's because there's no mechanism behind how this number can be reviewed for this cell, right? So what we need to do is we need to have some formulas in place for the linkage between the tick and also the calculation of the finished part, right? So we need to go into link tick box to a particular cell and review that thing. Just go into here, format control. This will be the I2. Okay, now, so if I tick this box, it will become true and untick will be false. So when it's blank is false, tick is true. But when I do this cell, it doesn't work because there's no link in this link. So what we need to do is actually just going through one by one to finish the link. There's another quick way, just by control, select this one. You can just go into here, the formula bar, type equal and assign to I3. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the rest of the cell. Just bear with me. Actually, there's a quick way to do that, but that's the coding, which is VBA. For now, just bear with me that we do this manually to link that each tick box to a particular cell, so we can use the column I later on to review how many true has been finished. Now we'll come to the day 8. Okay. Now we have done. So if I tick the box, there will be related tags being reviewed in the cross column, right? Okay, seems like all good. Now we need to use formulas. So first, we are always allowed to use the name range. For example, I have defined this as input, so we can rename this as raw. Once this has been done, we can go into the backend practice. So we need to actually just count. We only need to count what is true, because the box is ticked, it will be true. So we're gonna the name range that we just named is raw, and we're gonna count the true, but make sure true is a reserved word in Excel. So you just need to type that. You don't need to use double quotes around that. It's not a text, Boolean data type. And once we have done this, we can say enter. And now it's 0, but if we say tick a box, it'll become 100. Why? Because we need to calculate a percentage of how many has been finished. So we need to use this part to divide it by, because we know there's 10 days. You can simply just type 10. Now you have this correctly. So if I tick 2, it will be 80%. 80% and finish is 2%, 20%. So the color of the orange is the finished part. Okay. Now we have finished mechanism, but there's one thing that I'm just want to make it better is that column is redundant and also ugly. So quick way to do that, select the whole column and Control 1. You can just simply go into the font section, make the color as a white color. Now it's becoming invisible, right? Now when you tick that, you actually have the interactive chart has been gradually changed. Okay. Then we try to align this style, correct? You can see in the middle, there's a kind of indicator about the percentage that is finished. We also need to have that. So make sure you select this object, this chart, go into the Insert tab, and then you have a text. You just choose the text box. You just click somewhere else, and then here, just right after you insert this text box, go into the formula bar, say equal to, go into the backend practice, since we are trying to reviewing the finished components, right? So we click this cell and we'll click enter. It'll bring us back to this, and there's something that I need to change, which is font. Normally I'm using this font. Once I have that, I can make it bold. Make sure you have them aligned properly, okay? And also we align them to the absolute center. Okay, now we have this number in the middle. And then if we check this box, 10%, yes, correct, 20%, 30%, 40%, and 50%. So that's correct. And also we need to change about the style, because this style is more subtle and more modern design. So we can figure out how to do that. So when you select a chart, we first select that, is actually selected everything. And then if you want to change a component, for example, the title, you can select the title again. Then it will jump into that object. But here we try to change the pie chart, right? So we select that first, make sure you select it. And then we select again to make sure we only select the part for the finished part, which is the orange color. And then you have contextual toolbar enabled over the top, chart design, and also format. We go into the format, and you can also double click that to enable another pen on the right hand side. So here we're going to change that. You can change this donut hole size to make thin, thicker or thinner. I think I'm okay with this 50%. Let's just type 50%. Once I have this 50%, I need to go into the fill and the lines. Now you can see that my thing is automatic. So if I choose a solid line, you can see I have this finished part with a solid line of this color. You can have a different color about border, that's the border. The reason I'm choosing the same color as the base color is because I want them as unified as one unit, so you can't tell the difference. So the solid line, make sure the same color as the main color, and then you can adjust the white to make it wider or thicker based on your preference. And you can also have different, like say, joint type. It's actually this joint point. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 point. If I change this to bevel, it will be like this way. And if I going back to change this to will be more, but always like the round one. I've done this. Let's going back to check the front end. It's pretty close, but the whole size is definitely different, but that's fine. That's a personal preference. We're going back to close this, and then we're going to recheck the mechanism. So if we tick that, two things change. Once I tick the box, the number has been changed because I'm linking this 60% to B3, the first thing. Second thing is that when I tick a box, also the bar has increased or decreased based on how many checked in this finished column. And that's pretty much. Hope you enjoy it. See you guys in the next one.